Old friends living in neighboring apartments, the Martindales and the Baxters have what they consider the perfect arrangement. So that's what playwright Topher Payne called his play, Perfect Arrangement. R.S. Theatrics' production of Perfect Arrangement is running now at the Marcel. R.S. Theatrics takes pride in finding plays that haven't yet been done in St. Louis, and I'm glad they found this one. It takes up a piece of our history when our culture harbored attitudes that have the two couples skirting the law. That makes for suspenseful theater. And while attitudes and the law have changed since 1951, the play reminds us of what we are capable of, if not in the form here, always in other forms. Bob Martindale and Norma Baxter both work for the State Department. Bob has in fact been put in charge of a search for homosexuals in the State Department. This was in the time of the Red Scare, when Joe McCarthy and his minions and J. Edgar Hoover and his minions were looking for a red under every bed, and the State Department was having its own lavender scare. Not because homosexuals were all communists, but because their sexual preference made them vulnerable to blackmail. You could lose your job if you were outed as gay. You could even go to jail. The State Department had secrets. Foreign powers would like those secrets. Tell me your secrets, or I will tell your secret, the foreign power could say to a closeted homosexual, and any homosexual in the State Department would be closeted. Bob's superior at the State Department, Theodore Sunderson, is so concerned about this operation that he makes a special evening visit to Bob's apartment to talk about the work. This visit makes the inhabitants of the apartment and of their neighbors in the next apartment uncomfortable. Both couples have something to hide. Their marriages are shams, marriages of convenience, part of a perfect arrangement. Bob Martindale and Jim Baxter are lovers. Millie Martindale and Norma Baxter are lovers. Their two apartments have a secret connection, through a closet, of course, or is that too obvious, so they can visit each other without having to go outside of their apartments. This works well. Nobody at State suspects. Although Bob's boss, Mr. Sunderson, brings his wife with him when he comes to the apartment. She provides cover. This is just a friendly family visit. But Kitty Sunderson is the gushing ladies who lunch type, and she decides to make Millie Martindale her friend and take her shopping and to show up unexpectedly and stay longer than expected. She's a threat, a wild card. Who knows what might happen with her? But the real threat shows up later. Barbara Grant works at the State Department, and she thinks she's being investigated. She comes to the Martindales to talk to Bob and clear herself. Bob isn't there, but Millie is. What is revealed then can destroy the perfect relationship. The plot takes interesting turns after Barbara's visit, ending on a kind of tribute to the bravery of those who would later lead gay liberation. With the unobtrusively shrewd direction of Sarah Lynn Holt, the cast hit all the right notes. In Mark Kelly's solidly confident performance, you can see why Bob Martindale is on the fast track at State. Colleen Backer's Millie Martindale can be the perfect little housewife and the quick-witted conspirator. Perhaps he's relaxing at home, but I wonder if Tyson Cole's Jim Baxter is quite so free with stereotypically gay traits at the school where he teaches. Sarah Jean Dowling probes deeply into Norma Baxter as she ponders those late plot twists. Aaron Struckoff gives Barbara Grant a steely resolve as she fights for her career. Deborah Dennert's Kitty Sunderson provides comic relief without cheapening the character. In the perfect bureaucrat suit Sarah Porter designed for Theodore Sunderson, Zach Farmer carries the weight of Sunderson's elevated position, though Farmer seems to be conveying his character's concern with secrecy by making his lines barely audible. Porter also supplied several essential and well-done wigs. J. Keller Ryan's set provides 4 entrances for surprises, with lighting by Nathan Schrader, sound by Mark Kelly, and properties by Heather Tucker. They all come together to create that dark time in our history.
Yes, as you say, this play was a real find by R.S. Theatrics and very well done in the production under Sarah Holt.
It was indeed.